Hello, welcome to Sylvie Manifestation. I'm Sylvie and I'm going to be giving my honest review on this 300 watt portable power station from Flashfish. You can get it on Temu for like 150 bucks, guys, or eBay for about the same price. And it is just an insanely good deal. I've had it for a few months, so I'm ready to give my review. I'll start off by saying this is not sponsored in any way. I just really like a good bargain. Secondly, I also just really like camping and going to be using this for my van. And thirdly, I do have a Cert 2 in electrotechnology, and I have worked as an apprentice technician before for a large appliance company, so I do kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to electronics. So let's get to it. First of all, it works. Everything works as advertised. So if you've looked into the specs and don't need an explanation of it all, go ahead and get it if you were wanting to get it. It's not a scam. It does seem too good to be true because it is so significantly cheaper than the other well-known brands, but yeah, it's just a genuinely good deal. I mean, maybe you'll get a dud one, but I hope not, because yeah, it's probably made in the same factory as all the other ones, so yeah. Alright, so the first thing I like about this station is that it can be charged 3 ways. The first way is just by plugging it in straight into a AC power outlet. That's 240 volts in Australia. It's made for Australia. So that's great. It charges in about 2 hours from empty to full if you were going to do that, so it does not take long. Second way is solar. So you can use up to 90 watts maximum. I think it's 12 to 30 volts. Let me just check. Yep, 12 to 30 volts. So you can buy a solar panel with this if you want to, but the solar panel isn't the best deal. This thing is the best deal, and I got a solar panel from Facebook Marketplace for free, if you would believe it. So I just had to buy the right jack to go into the DC inlet. Okay, so you can charge it solar. That's the second way. And the third way, last but not least, is you can charge it through the cigarette lighter output in your car. So it's basically just the same as having a second battery wire up in your car without having to do all that wiring up. It's great. So if you can't be bothered doing all the wiring and everything, it's basically the same thing to do that. So yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, so we've gone through the inputs. Let's go through the output options. So you have a built-in inverter to change DC power to AC power, and it can go up to 300 watts. So you cannot power like a toaster or a hairdryer or something that uses like relatively high wattage. For example, the only thing in my house that is an appliance that I could really charge or use is my blender. So just keep that in mind. It's not gonna, for this price and this small of a power station, you're not gonna be able to charge many things. Like, you're not gonna do like hot water systems and toaster and all that. But you can get 12 volt versions, which you would be able to plug into your this socket. So yeah, you've got the inverter and the AC output there, and then you've got these USBs charging phones and everything, and then you've got this cig lighter and these two for things that are like specifically for camping, usually like a lot of camping fans, fridges. You can get cool little toasted sandwich makers from Kick-Ass. I really want one of those. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you can power through this. It does have a maximum output as well. Let me have a look at what that is. More than 120 watts. So yeah, it's not gonna exceed 120 watts, but I have a feeling that most things wouldn't exceed that much anyway that are on this sort of power. So you can charge things simultaneously. You can use literally every single output at the same time, which is great. And it has all of your fuses and stuff. So let me read out what it has. It has over temperature protection, under temperature protection, over voltage protection, under voltage protection, overload protection, short circuit protection, and overcurrent protection. So those are all your fuses that will stop it from just exploding or something. If you, it also has this little torch with 3 modes and a flashing mode. So that's nice. And it shows you on the display how much charge it's got. It also comes up with what the input is when you are charging and what the output is when you're using power out of it. So it's very easy to keep track with the display here. Very simple, but it's got everything you need to know. The other reason I think people should get this power station is because it's just so cheap and such good value that even if you were to buy every component separately, like the wires, the battery housing, the inverter, the solar charge controller, these like USB outputs, this output, all of these things, a display, like different temperature sensors, fuses, everything. If you're gonna do all that and spend the time working it out and putting in all that work of your own customized setup, good for you, but it'd be way more expensive. You would think doing it yourself would be cheaper, but just at this price point, you cannot even buy things secondhand and get to this price, really. So yeah, the only thing I guess with your own setup is the only thing you have to replace over time is the battery, because eventually batteries do go out. This goes out after, it's advertised the charge cycle life is 3,000 times. So yeah, they're LifePo 4 batteries, which is the same battery brand a lot of these other companies are using. So I wouldn't say that's really any different to any other brand anyway. But once the battery dies, got everything else connected to it, and yeah, that is one advantage of setting up your own thing with the inverter and the solar charger being separate, because when the battery dies you can just get a new one. But that's not really going to be for years to come, so just one small consideration. Okay, I think I've gone on about this power station for long enough. If you can't tell, I think it's so fantastic and just unbeatable for the price. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you've learned something about it, and if it's helped you, subscribe to my channel. Might be posting more gear reviews in the future, depending on what I get, and if I get something that's really good, or maybe I get something that's really crap and I just want to tell the world, don't get this. So yeah, all right, thanks for watching, bye.